Hi and welcome to another edition of OnsideSA. Budge, the show that keeps you going.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our favourite topic, last one standing.
Yeah,
now, Budge, if I've got it right, the figures here down to double figures. 93 from the 158.
Paul, 2 competitions ago, after 4 rounds, there was only 40 entries left, but it went 12 rounds. So the guys got a little bit sharp and only got 1 or 2 picks left. So a couple of good things. They look good things, Paul, the next couple of weeks. Just to let everybody know, there is a round in midweek. So
Yes.
round 3 is this weekend. I will send everybody. Midweek is round 4 and the following weekend is round 5. So everybody will be notified.
All right, the fairer sex, Budge. 10 ladies left, and some of these names keep appearing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Kelly Potts,
Yeah.
Glyn Harker.
Yeah, that's Dave Harker, my mate from Pirates. That's his wife. That's her debut.
Davey, well done. Sue Miller, Catherine Armstrong, the incumbent.
Yeah.
Kerry Varga,
Yeah.
Milan Laveau, Rene Roos. We hear these names all the time. Tanya Radford is at Bodrum's missus.
Yeah.
Michelle Tovey, Neil's wife, and Yvonne Berenz.
Warren, so yeah, she's with
Warren.
Chris Wheeler, Johannesburg guy. She's got a squad of people in to say Yvonne's done well.
Internationals. I always like to have a look at the internationals. My career internationals are rubbish. Stevie B's useless. Charlie Pigram's useless. Derek Graham's useless. But a Bird's holding the fort here.
Yes.
Micah Bird's still in, the Egyptian cross-dresser.
Yeah.
Kelly Potts.
Yeah, she's in the USA. Dan Vermark, big mates with Trevor Faree's youngsters. So she's
of course,
So,
with the boys.
Yeah.
Francois Demi, Mauritius.
Yeah, Mauritius.
Steve Potter, London.
Yep.
Nigel Swinbank, London.
Nigel.
And Colin Young. I don't know Colin Young.
It's Catherine's father. Catherine married Colin. Her maiden name was Young.
Catherine Armstrong.
Yeah, that's her father all the way in the UK.
Oh, excellent.
Catherine, Pauline,
Excellent.
the mother,
Okay,
yeah.
lovely. 8 people with 2 picks. Now, these are the guys. Got Des Furry, another guy. There's always a Furry involved. There's always a Furry. Chris Giorgio.
Yes.
Hassan Mol, a name we know well.
Yeah.
Mo Mol.
That's his nephew.
Mo Mol. I know his cousin, Noel.
No, yeah.
Kioshin Govinder.
Kioshin Governor, yeah. Vivian Woodley. Vivian got 2-1. He's going with Gary Green.
That's right. He's going to Spurs Liverpool game.
Yeah.
With Gary. Kevin Power.
Yeah. Fulham boy.
Sean Phillips got 2 picks, and Francois Demi.
Yeah.
Now it gets even better, Budge.
Even better for some.
People with 3 picks. Mark Curry, my Spurs boy. Rion Diaga.
Yeah, he's my mate from Club Tab. He's always enters, Paul.
Got 3. And Paul Lafferty.
You hanging in, Paul.
Tough. Tote favourite with 4 picks. Lawrence Werners. He's going well, Lawrence. I think we'll get through this week.
Yeah.
Right. Stevie B, is he on the line?
Steve, good morning. You with us?
Good. I am. Good morning.
All right.
Morning, Steve.
Stevie, we'll mention Fulham just to get a couple of my mates done their money last night, so I'm going to have to answer. Excuses, please.
Well, you can't make it. Unfortunately, Alexander Mitrovic went down with a sickness bug earlier in the day. He's likely to be out for a couple of days, so maybe he'll be back at the weekend. But they did enough to win. Hit the bar, the post, had a header off the line. To be fair to Doug, they put up a real fighting performance. They're not, even though they're 15 adrift, they're not giving up. But I think the important thing for Fulham is that we didn't lose any ground. With Bournemouth dropping points, West Brom and Stoke losing, overall it wasn't a bad few days for us, and we're still top of the table.
Right.
Steve, onto the Champions League. My Man United boys got back to winning ways. Did you watch it?
I did, yeah. I mean, the first hour, to be honest, it didn't look like anything had changed that much. But brought Fernandes on, and actually they grew in confidence. And the last 15 minutes or so, there was only one team were going to win it, and could have won by more. So it was, if they can start their next game or two the way they finished, then things are just starting to fit into place. But certainly, all's well that ends well. But it didn't look like that in the first hour necessarily.
Yeah, De Gea kept them in it. Steve, what's the latest? We're on Sky all the time. Interim manager Ernesto Valverde from Barcelona. Surely that can't go that route. Who? United.
Well, they're looking at a number. In fact, there were five names mentioned. I was reading this morning. All like Fonseca, Garcia, Ragnick, Favre, and you just wonder, none of them have managed in the Premier League. You just think it is a gamble. Especially as ultimately that you assume that they're still, that none of those 5 are the ones that they actually want as a permanent manager. They're not going to give them any money in January, and it just makes you wonder what the rationale is.
Yeah.
I think there's no question. They've got to go after a big name. Pochettino is the one that everyone's being linked with. I can't see him jumping ship at PSG until the summer. He said himself that if he doesn't win the Champions League, he'll probably get sacked, because that's what they've done in the past. And if he does win the Champions League, which I'm not sure he would, he probably thinks, well, I've done what I've come here to do. There's nothing else to achieve, because winning the French league year in, year out doesn't mean anything. So I think if they really want Pochettino, they may end up having to wait, because I don't think the owners of PSG will let him go at this stage.
Yeah, I think he could. He'll be gone. They won't win the Champions League.
No,
Stephen, for my 2 bobs worth, let Carrick still run it and make Ronaldo player manager, because I think he's running the roost there anyway. So why put one of these guys that are going to come and change it, upset all the players, and then get rid of him at the end of the year? But I think Pochettino does seem the.
That's the thing. Yeah.
What about Chelsea?
Yeah, definitely. I think the last thing they want.
Yeah.
What about?
No, just saying, Steve, Chelsea. I watched the Chelsea game after United. That was a clinic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very much so. Considering they've still got, without Lukaku, 1 or 2 others, it was a very strong performance. And they're going to take some stopping again.
Yeah,
Man City could
Man
stop
City.
them.
Yeah, very good performance. I mean, really good. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, PSG. When they came forward, they broke quickly. Obviously, they got their front 3, but the number of times you saw comments with the front 3, they didn't track back.
Yeah.
The Messis of this world are not interested in defending. And considering, again, City were without sort of Grealish, De Bruyne and Foden, they look very strong, very good going forward.
Yeah, I think they're a better team without Grealish. It suits their passing attack, and he still hasn't got up to that level yet, in my opinion. But I think he will get there. But that was really impressive. I only saw the highlights, Steve, of the Liverpool-Porto game. Thiago's goal was a screamer.
Yeah, no, me too. I just saw the highlights. That was a tremendous goal. Considering that he rotated a few players, obviously they'd already won the group, so he didn't need to. This was a clinical performance, and Porto needed something for the game and didn't get it. So I think the Klopp will be fairly happy with his with the team he put out.
Yeah. Steve, games we've got tonight: Leicester, Legia Warsaw. Big game for Leicester.
Yeah, absolutely. They're bottom of the group. They have to win. They win, they can go in. They'll get into the top 2. They didn't play very well against Legia away. They need to perform much better. They need to perform much better than they did against Chelsea at the weekend.
Yeah.
So huge game for them. I think it could go either way, but I think he's going to have what's available because if they want to give this competition a go, this is the game they have to win tonight.
Yeah. West Ham, I think if they avoid defeat, they finish top of the group. Do you see that happening?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's consistently played a strong team. I think he'll want to do that again. They won't want to have put all this effort in not to get through. So I think they will do. They were good value when they beat Vienna in the first game.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a tight game, but I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, West Ham will get the point they need.
And what about the Super Spurs? They've got to get a result in Slovenia.
They do, and I think that he'll be forced to play a strong team. They do need to get a result, and I think they're more than capable. I mean, they beat them easily at Tottenham. I think they need to go and win away, and they'll do that if they put out a strong side.
He was on the news this morning, Steve, our man, the Italian, and he said straight out that if a player's fit, all my good players fit, they're travelling.
Oh, well, that's good to know. So you can have a bet on them then.
Yeah.
Steve, Premiership. 2 sides that really did well last week, Crystal Palace and Aston Villa. Crystal Palace obviously avoiding defeat at Burnley, and Stevie Gerrard opening victory. How do you see that going?
Yeah, I think they're a close game. I think a week or so ago I probably would have said Palace should win that. I think it'll be closer. I think Steven Gerrard has probably got them fired up a little bit, but Palace are playing well. They look strong under Vieira. He's starting to get the team playing the way he wants, and they're playing a different style of football. They're not sitting back and just trying to catch teams on the break. They're actually on the front foot quite a bit, which is good to watch. So I fancy either Palace or a draw there.
Okie dokie. Norwich Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, Norwich had a good result. It was a fighting performance for Dean Smith there. I like Wolves, though. I think Wolves has just really started to climb up the table, playing some good football. I'd be very surprised if Wolves don't get a result.
All right. Now, can Burnley upset Tottenham on Sunday?
Well, I think Tottenham are going to be forced to play a strong team away in Slovenia tonight. Burnley, scored 3 goals in the last couple of home games. They're looking a bit stronger now, but I think they need a win. I think this would be a game, but I wouldn't be surprised if this could be a bit of a surprise shock here. But Burnley could I'm afraid Burnley could surprise Spurs, and so I think it could either be a win for Burnley or a draw. Though.
Yes, get off the drugs. You've still got drugs on for your shoulder or whatever.
Steve, Man City be too good for West Ham?
I would expect them to be. I think West Ham will. Were probably disappointed with their result last week, but City. I think we'll go for it. I think it will be a close game, but I think City will out on top.
Yeah, and the other big game on Sunday, Chelsea hosting Man United. Any chance my boys cause an upset?
Well, it depends. If United play as they did in the last half an hour, I think we'll give them a good game. Yeah. I think it will be close. They're normally good games. They haven't got the best record there, United. I still think Chelsea will be too strong, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if United could hold them.
Okay. Steve, the big game for us on the weekend is Preston hosting Fulham. Lunchtime kickoff. We've got it here in SA. Can my boys sneak a point?
Well, I think they can. I mean, Saturday lunchtime games are sometimes hard to call, especially if we've got 1 or 2 players have had this sickness bug. We don't know whether it's going to go through the club or whether, hopefully, they've caught it. I thought that we would last night, and possibly we'd get held at the weekend. I think the key for us is that we match whatever Bournemouth do, and I think if we do that, I won't be too unhappy. I think it will be close. We've got a decent record at ground, so I'd be surprised if we lose, but I think it will be close.
What time's kickoff?
2:30 our time.
On?
It's on ESPN, and
what day?
Saturday.
It's on live in the UK as well.
Yeah, no, we've got it. I'll be watching that. Steve, Bournemouth, I backed them last night to get a result at Millwall. 2 bad away results. Do you see them rebounding against Coventry?
Yeah, I think they will. I think that they were probably, and in the end, they were hanging on a little bit against Millwall. Yeah. So Coventry have done well, but they don't travel that well. I think Bournemouth will come back. Their last home game, they hit 4 against Swansea after having lost to Preston. I think they'll come back strongly, Bournemouth. I think they will edge it.
All right, the team used their best each way last week and got a victory. Huddersfield, how do you see them going against Middlesbrough?
Yeah, I think they'll do okay. I mean, they held West Brom, beat West Brom, and they've got another point lost last night, surprisingly.
Yeah.
So they had a few chances. I think that they will avoid defeat. So it could either be an away win or a draw there.
All right, Stoke City, Blackburn Rovers.
Yeah, this would be a good game. I mean, Blackburn could find themselves, if results went to third. You think they'd bounce back to that 7-0 defeat at home to Fulham with a few good results. Stoke last night had a player sent off.
Yeah.
Player sent off on the weekend. I think it will be close. I think that I can see that one being all square.
Okie dokie. Last but not least, Steve, Swansea City. You beat Barnsley last night, hosting Reading. How do you see that?
It'd be too strong. I think that, apart from that sort of defeat to Bournemouth, where they weren't supposed to have played all that badly to start with, I think they were on a good run, and I think they'll be too strong for Reading.
All right, Steve. Pressure time as usual. I need your best bet and value bet, please.
I'm going to go for Bournemouth on my best. I think they will bounce back. I think they'll be too strong at home. On my value bet, Paul, I'm really sorry, I'm going to go for Burnley. I think 27 to 10.
No chance.
When you think Spurs would probably play a strong team tonight, they're going to travel back to Slovenia. I think they got half a chance then.
All right,
no more than half a chance. And listen, how do you think Chiefs, Steve? How will Chiefs go this weekend against Swallows?
Yeah, no, I think they'll do well. Big team,
good team.
Result.
Thanks very much,
Steve. All the best. I can't say good luck for Saturday because I won't mean it, but we'll speak to you soon.
We'll be swapping.
Yeah.
A few messages, I'm sure.
No doubt.
Cheers, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
There we go. That's our man, Stevie B in London. Steve Brown, he's always on the button, eh?
Yeah, he knows what's going on, Paul.
He knows he's well primed, and we thank him. Now, Budge, let's have a look what's happening in the Premiership.
Premiership, Paul, yeah.
Now, it's hot enough. A quarter of the season's gone. Let's have a look at the games.
Paul, I just think there's 3 teams head and shoulders above the rest, and the rest are scrapping, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Paul, they would kick off Arsenal. You got to think, I know they got well beat last week, but you got to think they'll beat Arsenal. Newcastle.
Yeah.
Newcastle conceded 3 to Brentford.
But there's a lot of talk about this signing of the new ownership in the Saudi Arabians, and they're going through the football leagues and saying we've got to discuss it further. I thought it was a done deal.
Paul, you just don't know. You know, a lot of clubs behind, and looking at them, they got more money than everybody. They can do what Man City and Chelsea have done.
They got 10 times more money than Man City. Put that into perspective when it comes to. Okay,
They've got to survive, and I don't see them surviving at the Emirates, Paul. I think Arsenal win easy. 5 to 10 should be in every bet.
Palace Villa
should be a good. I think there's goals in this, Paul. You know, both managers. Gerrard's not going to sit back, and neither is Patrick Vieira. So Crystal Palace only lost 1. I think it's the last 10. That was at Anfield. You know, Villa had lost 5 in a row before they rebounded against Brighton. Good game, Paul. I like Palace are the 2 teams, but nothing would shock me in that game.
Liverpool too strong for Southampton. 1 to 4, Budge.
1 to 4, Paul. Yeah, at all your multiples, they should be in, but very short.
Okay.
To win both halves, I saw 12 to 10, Paul. That would be my play in that game.
Yeah. Wolves, as Steve said, are doing well.
Well, they are fancy Wolves. I didn't see them beating West Ham, Paul. They won 5 or 7. They look a really good team. And if they'd beat Man United and Spurs like they should have done, they'd have been 3rd or 4th, Paul.
Yeah.
Dark horse for top 4. I know it doesn't end that way, but I think Wolves, best bet of the week in the Premiership for me, Paul.
Leeds got to find a time to turn it around. Brighton might be the time, but Brighton are up there.
Yeah, Paul. You know, Brighton just haven't won. I think they haven't won in 7, but they've drawn most of them. You know, Leeds, Paul, you just don't know. They're missing Bamford. When they get all their players back, they'll be dangerous. They gave Spurs a good game.
Yeah, the Brazilian's a good player.
Yeah, Rafinha. They just need a target.
They were on
man,
top
Paul.
First half against Spurs, way on top.
Paul, it should be a good game. I think it draws a player in that game.
Draw a player, okay, Budge. I'm taking that as okay. Brentford struggling back with a draw the other day. Everton under the cosh.
Under Sevilla, Paul. You just don't know. You know, Calvert-Lewin, when's he coming back? How come they've got all these injuries at Everton? You know, I thought the betting was the wrong way around, but, you know, Brentford at home score goals, Paul, and Everton can't keep a clean sheet. There'll be goals in this game, Paul.
Okay,
you know, which way it could go. But this is a score draw for me, Paul. 1-1, 2-2.
1-2, 2-2.
Yeah.
Burnley Spurs. Now, Steve thinks Burnley can burgle it.
Paul, I think the reason that is, it all dependent on what team Spurs play tonight. If they do play a strong team, you know, there's going to be an aerial assault from Burnley. Yeah, they've been scoring goals of late.
We're right at the back.
Paul, it'll be a tough game.
Yeah.
It always is at Turf Moor.
Yeah.
I think there's goals in that, Paul. Any result wouldn't surprise me. Be hard, especially the way Conte's got Spurs. They're getting better, Paul, the way he wants them to play.
Quicker.
Won't be either way, Paul. Steve going for the upset. I think it draws a big player there.
I think Tottenham. So there we go. Each pundit's got a different opinion. Leicester City struggling a bit. Watford, good win.
Great win against United, Paul. I think Beacons would have given them a harder game than Man United, but good credit to the Tinkerman, Ranieri. Paul, I'm not impressed with Leicester. They got totally outclassed last week. They got a big game in the Europa League. The talk of Brendan Rodgers coming to Man United, I don't know if that has upset the change room. If Tielemans plays, Paul, I think they'll get it. They'll win easy. If he doesn't, it's a closer game. I wouldn't take 6 to 10, Paul.
Okay, I'm putting the draw down then. Man City too strong for West Ham.
Paul, they should be, Paul. What I saw last night, Paul, they're in a
West Ham and Nuggety.
No, they are, but they've got a big game tonight, and they're limited with their numbers. You know, but Man City, Paul, the way they're playing at the moment, 1 to 3 in every bet.
Yeah. Okay. Chelsea, Man United.
Paul, you know, United got a result, but we could have been 3 down. You know, De Gea kept us. So we did get better. You know, playing Sancho right wing, that's what we spend the 80 million on. We did look better. But
did he look better?
He's a good player, Paul. But at the back, we look woeful. Your man, Maguire, I don't know what's gone. He played, Paul. He's struggling. You know, Telles played left back. Every time United lost the ball, Telles came right alongside him to make sure no ball was going through him. He played well, Telles. It was a great result, but I don't see us winning at Chelsea.
Okay, so we're going Chelsea. But right, the next game we're going is championship fixtures.
Yeah, Paul, there have been a lot of games coming and going. Paul, I can't believe Forest are 42 to 10. You know, West Brom haven't been. I know they've got good home form, but Forest have done well of late, Paul. I think a draw is a massive play, 28-10. And another game, 1-1, 2-1. I think there's goals in that game. I don't see Forest losing, Paul.
Fulham 1, Preston 14th.
Yeah, Paul, it should be. Deepdale's a great pitch to play on, and all the good teams come up there and play well. We've only lost 1 in the last 8 at home. That was last week against Cardiff. We backed them. I was disappointed. Paul, Fulham are a good team. 8-10, should be in your play, Fulham.
Bournemouth 9-10.
I agree with Steve. I backed them last night to win at Millwall. But Benicophobe gave them a hard time. They don't get beat. Only Preston beat them there in the last 7. I think they'll beat Coventry. Coventry don't travel too well. 9-10. Steve's best bet. I agree with him.
Birmingham is 17th, Blackpool 11th.
I think they got the betting the wrong way around. Blackpool they've only lost 1 in ages, Paul. I went win and draw Blackpool at 5-10. I can't have 11-10 Birmingham.
Huddersfield, a good win last time against Middlesbrough.
My value bet of the week. Middlesbrough, they got beat by Preston. They went 1-0 up. Preston came back and beat them. I think they've won 5 of the 7 at home, Paul. Huddersfield. I like 16-10, Paul. I think it's a good price, Huddersfield.
Okay.
Hull City won 3 in a row, but Millwall are hard to beat, Paul. They drew with Bournemouth. I didn't see the stats. They could have beat Bournemouth, who the best team in the league, alongside Fulham. I don't see Millwall getting beat, Paul, but a draw in Millwall for me there.
Okay, Luton Town, Cardiff.
I went for Cardiff last night. They couldn't score. They got beat. Luton, I fancied them. They were 3 up. They're going well, Paul. I don't see Luton getting beat, but both teams to score would be my play, but Luton in the draw in the exotics.
The Posh versus Barnsley.
Paul, Barnsley got beat again last night, 2-0 at home. I think they've lost 9 of 10.
This is 22nd playing 23rd.
Desperate. It's Darren Ferguson's team. Paul, I like Peterborough of the 2 teams. At least at home, I watched them play West Brom at home. They played well against Fulham at home. Both teams scored late winners. Of the 2 teams, I like them, but the draw's got to be a player, Paul, the fear of defeat.
Stoke City, they're not too
Paul,
far back.
Stoke,
6
at home,
plays 7.
Paul, Stoke at home don't get beat too often at home. I think it's only Bournemouth that's beat them at home. Blackburn away from home are woeful. At home they're going well.
So it's got to be Stoke.
It's got to be Stokes. Both teams to score. That's my play in that game. And
Swansea City against Reading.
Reading, they've lost their last couple. Points deduction. They're in trouble. They signed Andy Carroll. He was on the bench, came on, no effect. But Swansea are going well, Paul. They're slowly climbing the table.
Sheffield United 16th. I've never said that, but
Paul, but I don't think there's many points between 6th place and 60. It could be 5 or 6. And, they've been on a bit of a roll. Bristol City won last night. They beat Stoke. So Nigel Pearson's team, you never know. I don't see Sheffield United losing, Paul, but 6-10 Sunday lunchtime kickoff. I think it's a bit short.
Okay, then Derby,
Paul,
QPR.
Derby,
interesting game.
Yeah, Paul, QPR won last night. Our mate Horsman chirping that they're in the playoff positions. But Derby, Paul, home against Bournemouth, they won 3-2. Away to Fulham, they drew 0-0. And even though they've lost 21 points, they're hanging in, Paul. Rooney's done a good job. I think there'll be goals in that, Paul. Somehow I don't see Derby losing, but I think there's goals in it.
Okay, let's talk PSL, Budge.
Yeah,
there were midweek results, and I'll ask you about them. I see Kaiser Chiefs, Amazulu, both had a player sent off.
Chiefs 1-0 up, player sent off. I saw the goal of Amazulu, good goal.
Yeah.
Then I thought Amazulu were going to go on and win it. But then they had a player sent off late on. It was a good game, Paul, I thought, anyway.
Another good game was Sundown Supersport.
Well, it was 2-0, and I thought, that's it over. I turned back, it was 2-2. Paul, Supersport are a good team.
They're a good team, but they came back,
come back 2-2,
Then the
Gallants. McGallants drew with Maritzburg. Maritzburg had a player sent off just after half time, so it was a good point for Maritzburg. McGallants don't score many goals, Paul, so obviously not going to win too many games.
Pirates slaughtered Stellenbosch.
It looked like it was a monsoon. I only saw the highlights of it. I was flicking channels, but Pirates have got players, Paul. Stellenbosch were unbeaten until that stage, but Steve's boys got well beat,
Okay, let's look at the fixtures, Budge. Here we go. Sundowns, they're really a good side.
Paul, they are, Paul. It should be. They've had a couple of bad results. I expect them to rebound. 6-10 look good things. Sekhukhune have won 5 or 7. That's a team that got promoted. But Sundowns play well, Paul. They'll win.
Okay,
Paul, I don't see Cape Town City getting beat. I like what I see from Eric Tinkler. They got beaten the MTA final on penalties. They drew with Sundowns 0-0 at home last week. I don't see them getting beat, Paul. They're drawing Cape Town City for me.
Arrows?
Paul, Arrows in Claremont, Sugar Ray Kulu Stadium. They don't lose there, Paul. Would I take 11-10? Not for me, but I don't see them losing, Paul. In the exotics, it's 1 and 2.
Okay, and then let's go on to the next one. And that is going to be Royal AM.
Royal AM, Paul. They're playing at Chatsworth. I like them. They don't get beat in Chatsworth, Paul.
Stellenbosch second in the
They
lot?
were, yeah, they are second, Paul. They've been going well. They've been scoring a lot of goals. But I think Royal AM will beat them, Paul. 13
Okay,
to 10.
that's
I fancy that.
interesting that. Okay, and then
Can't have
Swallows,
Swallows,
Chiefs.
Paul. You know, I know Chiefs didn't play too well, but Swallows have been woeful. I think they haven't won in, I think it's 11 games. The draws are played with Swallows all the time. I don't see Chiefs winning. I wouldn't take 4 to 10. Sorry, I don't see Chiefs losing. But in the exotics, it's Chiefs in the draw. And I like Amazulu, Paul. They're a good team. I watched some of them last night. Benny's got them playing well.
It's a local derby.
Local derby, Harry Gwala Stadium. I like Amazulu of the two teams.
What's Harry Gwala like?
That's where we used to play. It was the Unsmuts.
Is that Harry
It's
Gwala?
Harry Gwala, yeah. We played years ago, Paul. They've done it up. Remember they had the old cricket pitch in there.
That's right. They've had to put in stands.
No, it's a nice stadium.
We used to play at Jan Smuts. You're right.
Yeah, that's
right.
Harry
Let's
Gwala.
look at your soccer picks, bud.
Yeah, Paul. Our Gold Circle Soccer 6. I've banked Arsenal to beat Newcastle. I've thrown the draw in with Preston at home against Fulham. I went Fulham win and draw. I've gone the field in the Crystal Palace Aston Villa game. Have to bank Liverpool to beat Southampton. I don't see Wolverhampton losing at Norwich City, and I'm going the field in the Brighton Leeds United clash 2-1-6.
Okie dokie.
Our second soccer 6, I'm banking Mamelodi Sundowns to beat Sekhukhune United. I don't see Cape Town City losing at TX Galaxy. I've gone the field in the Empoli Fiorentina Crystal Palace Aston Villa fixture. I'm banking Wolverhampton to beat Norwich, and I'm going Brighton and Hove Albion win and draw at home against Leeds United 2-1-6. On to our Gold Circle Soccer 10. I'm banking Arsenal to beat Newcastle. Have to bank another one, so I'm going Fulham to beat my beloved Preston North End. I'm going the field in the Crystal Palace Aston Villa match. Banking Liverpool to beat Southampton. Wolves to beat Norwich City. The second page. I'm going Bournemouth to be too good for Coventry City. Going for Stoke City to avoid defeat at home against Blackburn Rovers. Likewise, Swansea City. I'm throwing the draw in there at home against Reading, and I'm ending up with two fields. Juventus against Atalanta and Brighton against Leeds United 2-1-6.
The big one?
On to the Soccer 13. Yeah, we always have a dip at this, Paul. Banking Liverpool to beat Southampton. I'm going Brighton, win and draw at home against Leeds United. I'm going for Crystal Palace to avoid defeat at home against Aston Villa. I'm banking Wolves to beat Norwich City. I'm going Blackpool, win and draw at Birmingham City. I'm going Bournemouth to be too good at home against Coventry City. I don't see Millwall losing at Hull City. Our next page, I'm going Huddersfield Town, win and draw at home against Middlesbrough. Luton Town, win and draw at home against Cardiff City. And Peterborough to avoid defeat at home against Barnsley. And ending up with three bankers, Stoke to beat Blackburn, Swansea to beat Reading, and I'm chancing Wigan Athletic in League One to beat Plymouth Argyle 2-56. Team in green, yeah.
Right, Budge, my favourite page.
Budgie's bets, yeah, Paul. Had to be a little bit inventive, but I'm going Wolves to beat Norwich City and both teams to score yes. And I'm going Chelsea to beat Man United and both teams to score yes. 3,200 to 200.
It's a good bet. I'm worried about Norwich, but it looks a good bet.
By Premiership, I'm going the goals, Paul. I'm going over 2.5 goals in the Arsenal Newcastle, Crystal Palace Villa, Brentford Everton, and Burnley Tottenham. 2,400 to 200. Could be 2-1, Paul. Onto the Championship, I'm going Bournemouth to beat Coventry and Stoke to beat Blackburn, and over 2.5 total goals in each game. And then I'm going Blackpool to avoid defeat at Birmingham City, 3,300 to 200. Our both teams to score sides. I'm going West Brom, Notts Forest on Friday, Preston Fulham, Peterborough, Barnsley, and Derby QPR on Monday, 2,000 to 200.
Okay.
Our team goals, I'm going Brentford, Wolves, Bournemouth, and Stoke City, all to score over 1.5 goals.
Brentford as well, eh?
A minimum of 2. Paul, Everton are woeful at the back, so I think that's a 4,000 to 200. Now, Collis King 6 on extra. I'm going Arsenal to beat Newcastle, Wolves to beat Norwich, Bournemouth to beat Coventry, chancing Stoke to beat Blackburn, Bayern Munich to beat Arminia Bielefeld, and Inter Milan to win at Venezia, 3,800 to 200.
It looks good, Budge. As I say, my favourite bets. Well, that's it. That's sorted that out, Budge. Now, just to remind you, last one standing comes up this weekend. We're down to double figures. Make sure you get those bets on. Any last parting shot from you?
Paul, get studying.
Get studying. Until next time, stay on side.